Greetings and welcome to this inaugural debut edition of Composer's Corner. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. So, developing a theme, a melodic theme. Oftentimes, inspiration comes purely by chance. But if you can recognize the chance for inspiration, then inspiration you shall own. I think Yoda said that, but anyway, so going back to a developing theme, a melodic theme that I introduced in the video intermodulations of a distorted timeline, reverse dynastic hypnosis, something to that effect. It sort of went like this. Of course, we had the intro, which was just a melodic gimmick. That, of course, was just a sort of a gimmick, a rhythmic gimmick is what I call it, but that wasn't the melodic theme of that piece as it was realized in the moment, purely in the moment, flying by the seat of the pants, grasping the moment by its ontological huevos and going with it. That's how we do. That's how we do here at the Umbanda New Earth Ashram. So anyway, aside from the rhythmic intro gimmick, this part here, the melodic theme, as realized, was something to this effect. So in the original offering, I made a melodic, more accurately a key center modulation, a transition from essentially one area of the fretboard, which was creating a certain harmonic tonality, a harmonic bass. And I made this transition, which was a rather abrupt transition, and it went like this. Let me do that again. And then I made this abrupt melodic transition to. So it went. But it was a very abrupt It was it worked, tonally. It didn't have anything that was not out of the ordinary for a Western ear entrained with Western harmonics to, it all sort of went together. But it wasn't, from a compositional standpoint, it could have had some smoothness, a segue that was a little bit more interesting, or rather logical, depending on how you look at this. And so upon playing around with the melody, this is what I'm talking about. This is the segue, harmonic segue, that would make that transition less dramatic or abrupt. So here it is. Here's the transition. essentially, rather than going from one area of the fretboard, tonal center, and essentially where I was at in this, what I would call the G. If you're looking at the major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then it repeats itself. But I was in a tonality of a G major, and going from a G major up to a tonality of a D. So G, A, B, C, D, like roughly a root of G to the fifth of the. I'm talking about the fifth if you count up G, A, B, C, D on the major scale. I added a little rest area, a little stop between those from the first tone, the root of the chord, or the root of the G major, which was G, to the fifth, and I made a little stop in between by adding the let's see, uh, yeah, A. I added an A to that, right? Or in this case, actually D. No, A. Anyway, let me play it again to get refreshed, and actually have another bit of. This is a perfect time to plug instant coffee, adequately heated. Although I switched to Amazon Happy Belly brand of instant coffee, and it's taking a little bit getting used to. It works, boy. I mean, yeah, it's just a little harsh tasting, but man, the power is definitely there, folks. Yeah, so what I did was I went from the G major to an A minor, then to the D minor. So basically a root major, then to the A minor, which is actually just a whole step away, but because I made it a minor tonality, it gave it an in-between vibe. Because technically, in a major, like the components of a major chord are the root, the third, and the fifth. So essentially, I kind of like by going so G, A, B, instead of going to the full third of the G major scale, which would have been B, I kind of dicked around in the A minor area and gave it a kind of weird, exotic overall tonality. So anyway, that's just kind of how we roll here. So anyway, just kind of like this. So this has been the debut episode of Composer's Corner. Kind of trying to develop some musical concepts. I mean, after all, the very first mystery school that we were aware of was from Pythagoras, and the father of the diatonic scale, the seven notes. There's 7 notes in the scale. I mean, seven. That number is ubiquitous. But and so this has been the debut inaugural episode, partly inspired by Amazon Coffee, Happy Belly. I'm not gonna lie, boy, this stuff's got some kick to it. I did add a little bit of cappuccino powdering of the white chocolate macadamia variety to give it a little complexity, if you were, flavor complexity, variety, and that's what I try to do with my music, and I guess that's the central theme of this inaugural debut episode of Composer's Corner, is to give your compositions, your melodic, your songs, whatever you do, whatever your gig is, they're but give it a little bit of tonal complexity, variety, a little bit of flavor. Add a little flavor to it, and in this case, I did so with you know